Yo, what's going on, y'all? I'm Damon Did It, and today I want to show y'all how I did this. Alright, so before we get started, if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button so y'all don't miss all the content that I got coming out. Alright, now, there's no right or wrong way of doing this. This is just my way. So feel free to leave some comments down below if you have a different way that you know how to do it. Now, with that being said, yesterday I went out to film a sunset, so we're basically transitioning from day to night. So we're gonna go out there on location, and I'm gonna break down and show y'all what I did for my settings. So basically, I want to do a sunset overlooking the New York City skyline. I shoot my time lapses. I always like to shoot in aperture priority. As the light changes, it also adjusts the shutter. So the shutter speed to compensate for the loss of daylight. So this way the exposure is even from day to night. And that's built into the camera. I'm using the Panasonic GH5. I personally like that camera because it has a built-in intervalometer. So you don't have to hook up a timer. It's all built in. All right, y'all, so there we have it. Time lapse is still running. We got the beautiful view in the background. All right. Yo, it's cold out here. Now we're gonna just grab all the photos, bounce them in Lightroom, and just edit them up. Oh, before I forget, remember the intervalometer I was telling you guys about? Well, this is the intervalometer. Okay, so basically, this is what you will have if you don't have a built-in intervalometer such as the GH5, and then you just program your setting in here. It's not plugged in so you can't see it, but basically that's what it looks like. And then you just program it, and you hook this up, and whatever. Okay, so here we go in Lightroom. So here's all the photos that was grabbed for the whole time. So here's the lightest, and then here's the darkest. So what I like to do first is I like to just dial up the settings a little bit. I think that the exposure is fine. I want to bring the highlights down a little bit because I want to bring some of this detail into the sky, whatever we can get. So look right there is good. We'll lift the shadows a little. Okay. I think the temperature, will cool it down a little bit. Right there, about good. For clarity purposes, I like to just want to sharpen it just a little bit. So just get the edges a little bit of sharpness. Not much. We won't mess around with the saturation. The curves we don't need to mess with. Everything looks fine. We won't really dial in these colors. We can probably just play around with some color correction in the Final Cut Pro. So we'll leave this alone for now. That's about it. Everything else looks pretty good. Just bring up some noise reduction a little bit. Cool. All right. So that looks good there. So we're gonna synchronize this. As you can already see, we're gonna see a difference already. Okay. So, all right. So we're gonna sync all of these photos to match as close as possible. All right. Go here. We'll sync that. That's fine. And then little by little, you'll start to see the changes in the photos. Sync the cross. So now, for instance, if we go to the last frame, okay, we should be able to see the difference. So the highlights see how this blooms? It's a little too bright. We don't need it that bright. So once we brought the highlights down, that kind of made it a little bit more visible, what we could see inside the details of the buildings. And I think I'm good with that. All right. It's all the same here. All right, cool. So now all we're gonna do is just, we have all the photos highlighted. We're gonna just dump them out. Go here, file, export. And we're gonna make sure it's a JPEG. We're gonna put it at 100%. That's it. Now we're in Final Cut Pro. So first thing we're gonna do is just bring the photos in. And then we're looking for the JPEG images. Now we're gonna go ahead and make a new project. We're gonna use custom settings. Now normally when you're shooting stills, especially when it's raw, the format is at 5K. So this is the resolution for each of these stills, but for the purposes of this tutorial, and just so the system doesn't get, just so the system runs a little faster, a little smoother, we're gonna go ahead and just put this at 1080. Everything else looks fine. But normally I do start it at 4K and then I start down resing from there. So let's go ahead and add all these images in. I just hit Command A, that selects all. We can just go ahead and hit W, insert, throw them into our timeline. Now that we have the photos in the timeline, notice that each one is about 4 seconds long. We don't need each still image to be 4 seconds, so we got to change that. So what we're going to do is highlight all of the images, and then we can go over here and we can go to Control D. All right, now Control D is going to trim it to 1 frame, okay? And then you're going to hit Enter, and then now we see it shrink up. So now it should be 1 frame for every picture. Now it gives us a real time movement. We're going to just fill the frame because we want to get rid of these black borders. So we go to fill. It'll fill all of them. Okay, this looks good, and this looks good. Now, the last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and make a compound clip. Option G, or you can always go to File, New, and you can go to Compound Clip. And then we're just gonna hit OK. Now, basically it took all those clips and it just nested it into one big clip. All right, so now it's gonna read it as one clip. If we ever need to go back and to work on each individual clip, we can, but just double clicking it, and then we back into the nested clip. But we don't need to do that. We're gonna just stay outside, work with the one clip. All right, now at this point, we're done. I mean, everything is basically done. It looks good. And like I was saying to you guys earlier, if you want to just go ahead and add a little bit of color, we'll go over here, and we'll add this color. Just put a custom LUT on it, and there we can just then we could just mix it down a little bit. That's a little harsh, and basically it's just going to push the orange and teal colors. So we bring it down. I think 30 is good right there. All right, and here's the difference to what it looked like with it and without it. So this is without it, and this is with the LUT. All right, now sometimes you'll find yourself in situations where the timing of the time lapse, it could be a little too slow. In this case, it is a little slow for me. So we play it down here. It feels a little slow. So what we're going to do is just speed this up a little bit. Plus, the total is like 13 seconds. I want to get it down to about 10 seconds. So you can always just Command R, which brings up the speed ramp, and then we'll just kind of speed this up a little bit. I'm gonna shrink it till I see about 10 to 11 seconds. I think 11 seconds would be all right. All right, And let's see what that looks like. All right. And then what we want to do is we want to animate this. So it's kind of boring just sitting there still and static like this. So what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and set some keyframes so we can just animate this. All right. First of all, we got to find out if we want to zoom in, zoom out, or we want to just pan side to, do a tracking shot side to side. But just to keep this simple, I'm going to just zoom in. We'll keyframe that there. Now, I usually do 110, about 10%. It's about good, so we can see a subtle difference, not too much, not too little, but it's enough to just see that the camera is moving. And this is what that will look like. Okay, wait a minute. Did y'all notice something? It felt a little plain, right? We gotta get some music in there. Music to spice it up a little bit. All right, y'all, here's the take with the music. All right, y'all, so that's about it. I hope the video worked. I hope you liked it. Definitely give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel because we'll be dropping more content as the weeks is coming. And also, leave a comment below if you know another way how you can do a time-lapse transition. Definitely feel free to share with us in the comments below. Or if there's any other techniques or any tricks that you would like to know how to do, or stuff that you may want me to go in more detail with, such as in Lightroom or in Final Cut Pro, leave me a comment below, let me know, and I'll do my best to try to come back and do tutorial for it. Alright? So with that being said, I'm out. Peace.